Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. Today is Wednesday, August 11th. Thank you for choosing to be here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We start off with weather information. There is developing weather across the region, so make sure you head to WKYC.com for the latest on that. We do know that thousands have been left without power today in the Northeast Ohio area following the storms that have been rolling in. The series of storms that made their way across Northeast Ohio today impacted more than 26,000 customers, according to First Energy. In Cuyahoga County, the most were impacted, with over 1,200 without power this afternoon. Now, according to our 3 News meteorologist Holly Strano, we are locked in this tropical weather pattern. We're experiencing heat, humidity, and storm chances throughout Northeast Ohio, so we'll have more of the same today, Thursday, and Friday. So make sure you track those weather conditions with our interactive radar that is linked, as I said, on WKYC.com. Today, the highs will climb into the upper 80s and there will be scattered pop-up storms. There's also a better chance of storms on Thursday and especially Friday. Some of the storms could definitely pack a punch, according to our weather team, during the next few days, as the instability will be very high. Cooler, drier air will breeze in here, quite literally, on Saturday, so it looks like it will be a gorgeous weekend ahead. But as for the rest of the week, keep an eye on WKYC.com so you can stay up to date on those developing weather conditions. Now today, as I said previously, when we've been moving into this different phase of the COVID-19 pandemic, we were only updating the numbers for you on Tuesday and then as warranted. Well, definitely as warranted today, because today the Ohio Department of Health has reported 3,393 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours. This is the largest daily increase since February, because we saw 1,067 more COVID-19 cases today than we saw yesterday. And yesterday was the largest daily increase since April. Yesterday, there were 2,326 new reported cases of COVID-19. That was up 1,033 from Monday. Monday, we saw 1,269 new COVID-19 cases reported. And right now, there are 1,179 people currently hospitalized being treated for COVID-19. That's up 90 from yesterday. And of those people, 353 are being treated in the ICU. That's up 27 from yesterday. Now, according to experts, it is the Delta variant among the unvaccinated that is responsible for putting these people in the hospital by a large margin here in Ohio. Speaking of vaccinations, new research suggests that the Moderna vaccine performs the best against the Delta variant. This is according to new reports, 2 new reports specifically, both of which have not yet been peer-reviewed. But in one study, the Moderna vaccine appears to be performing better against the Delta variant than the Pfizer vaccine. This was a study out of the Mayo Clinic, looking at patients out of the Mayo Clinic. It found in early 2021 that the Pfizer vaccine was 76% effective at preventing infection. But then when the Delta variant became prominent here in the U.S., that effectiveness dropped to 42%. Now, over that same time period, Moderna's effectiveness went from 86% to 76%. Now, a study out of Canada looked at elderly nursing home residents, and it found that they produced a strong immune response after the Moderna vaccine compared to the Pfizer vaccine. The researchers behind that study said the results showed the elderly will need either a higher dose or a booster shot in order to get to a similar level of protection. We are also getting an idea of how long protection from the vaccines last. In research out of Israel, people were more likely to test positive for COVID-19 5 months after being fully vaccinated with Pfizer than people who were vaccinated more recently. So it was at that 5-month mark that they saw people more likely to become infected with COVID-19 even after the Pfizer vaccine. The CEO of Pfizer has said a booster shot may be needed, but again, officials here in the U.S. cautioning against that, saying they are not ready to recommend a booster shot, but this is what we are hearing from the pharmaceutical company. Now, as we continue to take a look at what COVID-19 is doing across Ohio, Northeast Ohio parents and families are disputing mask mandates in schools. Some parents are against students wearing masks in schools. Other parents don't want their kids to go to school without wearing masks in schools. And what are the schools doing? Well, they're making their own decisions. One parent out of Bay Village, Molly Kilbane, she's the parent of a child who wrote a letter saying that child didn't want to wear a mask in school, and to be quite honest, who wants to wear a mask? I know I certainly don't want to, but I will if required for protection. But this parent, Molly Kilbane, is against sending her kids to school with mask mandates in place. The Bay Village resident says between mental health worries and how COVID-19 cases are playing out, how low they had previously been, but again, we are seeing that uptick, which I just spoke to you about. She said she just wants the school districts to offer children a choice. Well, Bay Village, not doing that. They announced earlier this summer that a mask mandate would be in place for the 2021-22 school year, at least at the beginning, while cases in Ohio are currently on the rise. And it was just a few weeks ago that the American Academy of Pediatrics updated its COVID-19 recommendations for the upcoming school year, recommending masks for everyone, both vaccinated and unvaccinated, any eligible person. Dr. Sarah Bode, who is the chairperson-elect of the AAP Council on School Health Executive Committee, said there are a lot of children who just can't get vaccinated. That's why it's important, this is a quote from her, to use every tool in our toolkit to safeguard children from COVID-19. Universal masking is one of those tools and has been proven effective in protecting people against other respiratory diseases as well. It's also the most effective strategy to create consistent messages and expectations among students without the added burden of needing to monitor everyone's vaccination status. Now, despite that recommendation, some school districts here in Northeast Ohio have still decided to leave it up to the parents and the students to decide about their own choice when it comes to wearing a mask or not when you return back to school. It was on Tuesday that families in Brecksville Broadview Heights School District went back and forth over the district's decision to not enforce any kind of universal mask mandate for their classrooms. Now, Northeast Ohio school districts have been periodically announcing their mask guidelines for the 2021-22 school year, which is coming up here very quickly for a lot of parents and children in Northeast Ohio. We have an updated list of those mask guidelines as we're getting them in on WKYC.com, so you can check that out there. Now we have an update on who will be leading the Ohio Department of Health. Governor DeWine announced today that Dr. Bruce Vanderhoff will take over that role as the Ohio Department of Health Director. Stephanie McLeod, who took over from Dr. Amy Acton when she resigned, she will return to leading the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation as administrator. Governor DeWine said today, working together as a team, Stephanie McLeod and Bruce Vanderhoff guided the Ohio Department of Health over the past 9 months. I am pleased that Dr. Vanderhoff has agreed to serve as the director of the Ohio Department of Health. His medical and organizational expertise will help the department as we move forward and continue to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. The changes take effect on Monday, August 16th, so next week. Both of those positions do require confirmation by the Ohio Senate, so we'll need to see that process play out as well. Now today, you can watch live while the Cleveland Police Chief Calvin Williams joins United Way of Greater Cleveland and the NAACP's consent decree conversation. The focus today will be on search and seizure. This is part of the monthly consent decree community conversations that have been happening. Now, this is all part of a Department of Justice investigation that requires this kind of thing of the Cleveland Police. And the events are being conducted to address police reform mandated by that 2015 consent decree between the City of Cleveland and the Department of Justice. So we'll stream that tonight from 6 to 7:30 p.m. on WKYC.com. The conversation will be moderated by Lee Fisher. He is a common contributor to WKYC and 3 News across all of our platforms. He's also the Dean and Professor of Law at Cleveland's Marshall College of Law. The panelists will include the Deputy Monitor from the Cleveland Police Monitoring Team, the Commissioner of the Cleveland Police Commission, a Civil Rights Attorney, James Hardman, the Safety Director of the Department of Public Safety for the City of Cleveland, and the Chief of Police for the City of Cleveland, Calvin Williams, as I mentioned. The next session, by the way, that will be Wednesday, September 8th, so relatively soon. The focus on that conversation will be the Cleveland Police Commission and citizen involvement. Now, here's some updated news. This week, I cannot believe it, I don't know if you can, but the NFL preseason starts this week, and we do know that Cleveland Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield will not play on Saturday. Instead, Case Keenum will start, and the Browns have said we'll get an update on the other starters for Saturday's game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kickoff at 7 p.m. We'll get that update on those starters tomorrow. Something that is kicking off already this week is the Cuyahoga County Fair. It is back after being canceled last year. Yes, they have decided to run this year. It began yesterday. It's running through Sunday, August 15th. It's at the fairgrounds in Berea. The hours are through Friday, noon to 11 p.m., Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, noon to 10 p.m. So a little later start on Sunday, closing up shop a little bit earlier. You can see a sneak peek of some of the things they have to offer at WKYC.com. If you want to get in there, it's $8 to get in. Unless you're an active military member, then it's free with your valid ID, and people age 3 and under are also free. You can buy tickets at a link at WKYC.com, and parking is free. Love to hear that. Nobody likes to pay for parking. And if you are a fan of Raising Cane's, I'll tell you what, this restaurant really has a cult following. Well, there's one opening up in Sandusky, and we now know that it will open up on September 14th. It'll be at 5306 Milan Road. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that road name right. That's opening up on Tuesday, September 14th. This is one of the first locations for the chain to have a double drive-through and a double kitchen. So that means you will get your chicken fingers fast from the Raising Cane's in Sandusky. They call themselves Caniacs, by the way. You know I love that. I love a good bad pun. And here's good news for Sandusky too. They will be hiring 200 crew members, anyone from hourly workers to managers, in order to get things up and running between now and I don't know if all the hires will be made by September 14th. I'm sure it'll probably happen on a rolling basis, but that's how many people they're looking to get into jobs at that Raising Cane's in Sandusky. Now, if you are a Caniac, you probably already know Raising Cane's hours, but here's what it's going to be in Sandusky. Open a little bit later than in some other places. Sunday through Wednesday from 10 a.m. to midnight, and Thursday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. So they will be open for your late night chicken finger cravings at the Raising Cane's in Sandusky. That's it for your 3 News Now update today for Wednesday, August 11th. I'll see you up next with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment on What's New, and I will see you back here tomorrow for more 3 News Now.